cannot wait. My first time on the road with you guys. Should be a good time. All right, here's the latest. After Darrelle Revis took shots at Richard Sherman, former All-Pro cornerback Antonio Cromartie came on Undisputed yesterday to defend the Niners' defensive back. Cromartie said Sherman was just playing the system he was in and said it was different than the system he played in with Revis and the Jets. This morning, though, Revis responded on Twitter saying, "Remember Rex, Dennis Thurman, would come to me and say, 'Hey, Reeve, we don't know if Cromartie is going to hold up this week, so we have to shade the cover to him and leave you on an island.' Yes, you have to play what the coach calls." Former All-Pro cornerback Cromartie is back with us. Did I get that all right? I need your reaction to all of this.
You know what? Honestly, my initial reaction was like, really? You really want to do this with me out of all people? Like, I was in the meeting room with you every single day. I understand everything I was saying. And I was thinking to myself, I say, well, kind of think about it. I was never come in to be the #1 corner for the New York Jets.
Right.
It was already had a #1 corner.
Right.
My job was to come in to be the 1B or whatever you want to call it and go from there. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at it, I'm like, man, you can tell your truth, but I know my truth also, too. And my job was to go out and cover the people that they asked me to cover and go from there. I don't know whatever Rex, Dennis Thurman had going on with Reeve, telling them, I don't care. Only thing I had to do was go out and go do my job. As long as I did my job well, that was all I asked. I think the 3 years that me and Revis played together, my quarterback rating or completion towards me was 47%. So obviously I was doing a good job. Obviously I was doing something right.
Right.
So obviously, you know, when you look at the whole entire situation, and I said it on Twitter, man, you can be in your feelings all you want to. I'm not in it for the feeling. I just spoke the truth. It's about the scheme that we played in. Everyone plays in a different scheme. Never once did I say that he wasn't the best. I said he was the best. 2009 was, no one can ever match that. I said he was the best. But at the end of the day, like, you gonna call me out for what? Speaking the truth about another man, what scheme he plays in?
Right.
That's uncalled for. And I told him that. You know, I'm just like, I can't speak on. The only thing I can speak on is what I see. The man's played in this system for the last 9 years. He's played great in this system. So why am I knock him for what he's playing in?
Right.
Y'all have y'all beef. Me and Sherm squashed our beef. Now I'm really talking football. That's all I'm talking. I'm not looking at it, oh, well, you know, Sherm's calling himself the best. Every DB should feel that way. I mean, if the Dion didn't walk around like he was the best, what would you say about him?
Right.
If Champ Bailey walked around and act like he wasn't the best, what would we say about him? I can go back to Lester Hayes, Mike Haynes. I can go to Mel Blount. I can go so on and so on. We are in a generation now where everybody wants to be, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that. Prove it. Day in and day out. Sherman's been consistent for the last 9 years. I can't take that away from him. I've argued with Sherm. Dude, you're not the best. You're not even better than me. You know what I'm saying? But we've had that sit down and had that conversation. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not finna knock this man anymore for what the scheme that he's playing. He's competing at a very high level in this scheme. So why should I keep knocking him for what he's saying? That's what he believes. Every corner should believe. Patrick Peterson believed that when he was coming in, that he's the best. He said this, I mean, he said he was the best. He was better than Reeve too. So if someone's saying that, you gonna have a beef with everybody that say they're the best?
He does.
I'm not in that boat. I consider myself one of the best, you know. But I'm not walking around
mad if somebody say you're not.
Mad if somebody say I'm not.
How close were you and Darrelle back in the day?
We were very close.
Like,
I mean, we're still close. I mean, he texted me back saying, "Hey, man, yo, it's all good. We family."
And what did he tell Skip what he said about me?
He said, "Tell Shannon to line up."
To what?
He talking about tell Shannon that you and I would both strap him up.
Oh,
But it's just, you know, we brothers. I don't care what nobody says. We brothers. We can have an argument in the next 5 minutes.
Like socializing brothers? Like, would you hang out? Would you go to dinner?
We do all that. But
it just surprised me. He said you don't have each other's number right now.
We don't. I mean, I've changed my number. He's changed his.
Okay, all right.
So, I mean, my number haven't really changed in like the last 5. I don't know if he's changed his or whatever. But the number I have doesn't work. So I can't sit here and be like, I'm gonna text you, I'm gonna call you. So I just hit him on, hey, look. I gave him a heads up. Hey, this subject gonna be on here, so we're gonna talk about it. You know, I'm just like,
I get drunk into it.
Sorry,
my whole thing is this: like, don't. If you got a problem with something what I said, which I felt like I didn't say nothing wrong, I still called you the best yesterday. No matter how you look at it, I still called you the best, but I'm not finna knock another man for being the best in what he does in his scheme that he plays in.
Well, guess what, Skip? Richard Sherman hit me. I don't think he's better. We're just different. But I appreciate you always keeping it 100.
Okay. To you?
Yes.
Oh.
Skip, I got no dog in the fight. I just call it like I see it. And I said yesterday, I believe Revis' best was a little better than Sherm. Okay. But they play in two different systems.
Yep.
You can't knock me because, Skip, they didn't ask me to dominate the line of scrimmage and block like George Kittle. That wasn't what they asked me to do. But if you go back and look at the film, on third down, when we got that long TD, we got that run against Green Bay, who did they run behind? When I had to be, I did what I needed to be. It's okay, Skip. It's okay. Listen, this notion that shutdown. See, when I hear like, okay, he on the island. When you on the island, they in zero coverage. Did y'all line up in zero coverage every snap?
No.
Okay, then that means there's a safety in the hole. Now, when Time took a guy, Time take the shallow cross, he took the out, he took the deep over, he took the post, he took the go. It's okay.
But I believe Revis did that also.
What's that?
Just take him solo. Wherever he goes, you're alone. You got it.
We both did that. We did it in the same scheme. We're asking, hey, Revis, you're gonna be by yourself, Crow. You're gonna be by yourself. Hey, we have a middle field safety, but I don't know if he's gonna be there. At the end of the day, we both sat there and did that. Like he said, Dennis Thurman and Rex May said that. I don't really care. My main focus is to go out there and make sure I understood what Randy Moss did very well. I understand what Randy Marshall did well, because those were the guys that I was gonna follow around. Whoever it was gonna be who I was gonna be following around, I studied that person. I studied him, the second guy, and also the first guy. I mean, there was games that Revis didn't play against that I had to cover the number one guy. So what was my job? I had to go and cover that guy.
So what was he doing that last year in New York?
What was he doing? What?
Yeah, what was he doing there? Was he covering? Was he locking down or was he stealing? When everybody started bringing their guests to Revis Island.
Okay.
He was a picnic.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
But 2016, but Skip, okay, that's the point. But Sherman, see, that's what's upsetting him about Sherman.
Okay.
Sherman's still playing at a very high level, and then he's not. He didn't at the end, Skip. He didn't play well at the end.
Okay, I want to walk us quickly back through how this all came to be.
You started.
This started in 2012. I did not start it because Richard Sherman was LeVar Ball before LeVar Ball. He did. He talked his way into America's living rooms when he was a good player, but he wasn't yet a great player, Richard. And he took on everybody via Twitter or any interview he could do.
Took on me too.
And it was a smart strategy because he made himself a thing for everybody. We got to deal with that guy in Seattle. Who's that guy in Seattle?
But Seattle
was coming after everybody.
But Seattle wasn't what it is.
They were not.
So he had to get.
He talked his way into the public consciousness, and he took on everybody, starting with Tom Brady. You mad, bro? Or was that how?
Yeah, that was that. But yeah,
you mad, bro? Yeah, that's it.
Remember after the game, they upset the Patriots at Seattle. Remember? Yeah. Okay, so then it escalates because he starts taking on Darrelle, and Richard started it. And he went so far as to suggest on Twitter that Darrelle Revis, in his prime, in his heyday, at the peak of his prowess, that he was overrated and irrelevant when he stepped on the football field. And that was just...
Well, you got to think about this. Revis only played 2 games.
In which
2.5 games, 2012. That was
okay. Because that was Richard's point. You're out of mind.
That was Sherman's first strike.
Outside, out of mind.
I think he tore his ACL in the Miami game.
But then he also went back at him and said, "When you come back on the field, you will be irrelevant because I have rendered you irrelevant."
Right.
Well, that's just not right. Listen, I know Revis well enough. I spent enough time around him, and you know him really well.
Yes.
He is as proud a man as has ever stepped on a football field.
100%.
Maybe to a fault. He is proud because he is Darrelle Revis, and I will take you by myself. I will live on my island, okay?
So did they close Revis Island when he went to Tampa?
No, I thought he was really good. He made the Pro Bowl in Tampa.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Well, I mean, he continued to play at the highest
level.
I'm
just saying.
He's making first-team All-Pro through Tampa, back to New England. The 2014 year in New England, he made first-team All-Pro.
He was superb.
Okay, all right.
He was superb in New England. He was superb with the Jets, especially the first go-round.
Okay, so yesterday, we're reacting to Darrelle, who just came out of left field on Sunday night because he wants to get even with that guy. You started, I'm going to finish. You're a zone corner, and I want the world to know you're a zone corner. Right? You didn't do what I did every game.
Right.
And then we come to you, one of his closest friends, if not for a long time, his closest friend.
Right.
And you, in his eyes, You betrayed him on this show yesterday because you took Richard Sherman's side.
I didn't take anybody's side.
Okay, well, you did take Richard's side, and you admitted that you sat with Richard back in, when was it, 2014?
After the 2014 year.
2014.
Yeah.
That you sat with Richard,
We talked,
and,
yeah.
it came across like Richard charmed you. You know, like he
he just
really talked.
Hey, I mean, he just my thing is that he just gave me he just told me, look, Crow, I'm not asked to follow. I'm not asked to do that. We have Brandon Brown and we have this person here. I'm not asked to do that. I don't have to do that. So why should I not consider myself the best because I'm playing in the zone coverage?
Right.
And I said, all right, I don't really, I really
Here's
don't care.
the point. Could Richard have done what the Jets asked Darrelle to do? I just don't think he could have. But could Revis do what Richard has done for years in Seattle and now in San Francisco?
I
Yes,
mean, but I'm like this. What makes Revis a great corner in top 5, top 3, maybe ever
top
play,
2
to ever play? You got a lot of you got Lester Hayes, you got Mike Haynes, you got Willie Brown.
They changed the rule because of Mayo.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
He
all right, the list
game.
go on, but
what
this is what I'm saying.
Richards in the Super Bowl.
But this is what I'm saying. Like Revis can play. He can play the slot. He can play he can play anything. He can cover any size receiver you want him to cover. My problem was, don't put me on no small receiver.
Quick,
hey, I might get my hands on him, but hey, if he make this quick cut, it's gonna be lost.
Because what did you play?
I play a little bit in the slot too, but it was one of me following
What do you
receivers.
say? You're 6'1"?
6'2.5".
6'2.5". Okay. What weight?
I played at 215.
Whew. That's a big cornerback.
Right.
Man.
But
So I get
my
it.
thing is,
he was technically sound.
he was technique sound, and that's something
that first move.
Listen,
you can just throw that first move out the window because you wasn't biting. Because you give all that Chad Ochocinco, give him all that head stuff. He's sitting right there. Okay, now when you make your move, I'll be ready to go now. Because you spend all this time dancing, and you ain't moved nowhere.
And that's the thing. That's the what I admired. When I got to New York, that's the one thing I admired about him. And I tried to model my game. I have to be patient. Look, hey, I'm long. I'm finna jump everything.
Yeah.
You know, but that's something that you admire about him going into a game, like the way he studied, the way he done things, the way that he covered, the way that what was asked him the week in and week out, he's done. You know what I'm saying? But like for me to sit here and knock another man for doing what he's doing and what's asked of him, I can't do that no more. I'm not finna sit there and do that. Yes, I played in this league. I've done the same thing that Revis has done. I played in zone coverage, just the same thing as Sherm. But my thing is, I'm not finna sit here and keep going backwards and forth with two guys about